Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, this episode, I don't know. I don't know if I could sit there and say it's interesting, but also there's a lot of stuff that I just didn't know about, and, let's just dive into it. So you got Abigail and Chad, talking to their kids about, her leaving for a while. And, it is what it is. I didn't find that to be that interesting. I didn't really find it to be that interesting. Mostly I felt like, she talked to the children, and then, Chad talked to the children, and that was pretty much about it. And then, her parents came in. Jack came in. Jack, and I don't remember her mother's name. But then, she pretty much said goodbye to her parents and stuff like that. Now, earlier, Jack was at the police station, pretty much just like the description says, laying into Gabby for some drugs that she took or whatever. Now, I'm confused how this whole thing happened. Did Gabby give her pills? I mean, did Gabby give Abigail pills? Like, how? I don't understand, like, why is she in jail for that? I'm not understanding that. But, anyway, he just came in and he was just like, oh, you're gonna get what you deserve, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. And then Rafe comes in, and Rafe is like, yo, you can't be in here like this. You're not the mayor anymore. Apparently he was the mayor. And he's just like, yo, you can't be in here. And Jack is just like, just do your damn job, pretty much. And then he walks out, and Gabby's like, well, thank you. I really appreciate you sticking up for me. And Rafe was like, yeah, no problem. But the question is, am I defending a guilty woman? Here's the thing. It doesn't look good for Gabby so far, because not that long ago, I don't know the situation with Gabby and Abigail. I know she's in jail for something that happened with Abigail. But she also tried to give a syringe to this guy named Ben. Apparently she thinks that the syringe is going to help him remember who he is, which is supposedly Stephen DeMero. I'm a little confused about that, because the people in the town, unless they're new, they don't treat him as Stephen DeMero. No one in the town seems like they can confirm, is he really Stephen DeMero? I'm assuming, because, no one said anything, so at this point, I don't know if he's Ben or if he's Stephen. But anyway, Ben, in the flashback, Ben was like, yo, what are you... he's in the garage talking to, Jake? Jake. Yeah, Jake, that's his name. Hold on, let me pause it for a second. Yeah, Jake. So yeah, Jake and Ben are sitting there talking, and, Jake is like, at one point, would you, considering the possibility that you may really be, Stefan? Because Jake and Stefan are talking, and they're talking about Gabby and what Gabby did. And not earlier in the episode, in the beginning of the episode, you got, you got Jake and Ciara sitting there talking about their wedding and stuff like that. Making out, all that good stuff. I'm not gonna lie, Ciara's hot. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. Then you got, so they're sitting there talking. You got Ciara and Jake sitting there talking about the wedding. And then there's a knock at the door, and that's Lonnie and Eli. Lonnie and Eli wants to sit there and take a statement about Gabby and the whole syringe thing with Ben. So after that happens, they talk or whatever. Then Jake invites Eli and Lonnie to their wedding. So that happens, and then and then they leave, and and then Ciara, no, oh my goodness, then Eli and Lonnie leave, so they leave, and they're downstairs, or I guess they're outside or whatever, hanging out and talking, about how, well, Lonnie's not to talk about how happy she is for, you know, Jake and Ciara and stuff like that. And Eli's like, you know, it's not that long ago that, you know, we were going to get married if it wasn't for... And then he didn't finish the sentence. So then he's like, you know what, listen. He was not to talking about how he had he had this ring that he was carrying for a while, and he proposed to, Eli proposed to Lonnie. And, Lonnie's just kind of standing there, and Eli's like, alright, you kind of freaking me out, like, is that a yes? Like, what's going on? And so Lonnie's like, you know, yes or whatever, and then they start to set a date, you know. But, you know, there's a lot of people's weddings that, you know, are going on. So it's like, oh, we can't do it this day, we can't do it that date or whatever. So Lonnie's sitting there looking at her calendar and stuff like that. And Lonnie's like, oh, I'm late. And, you know, she says it in this very dramatic way, like, I'm late. And Eli's like, you late for an appointment? I'm just like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you said that. Listen, your soon-to-be wife is looking at her calendar, and she says, I'm late. Not like, I'm late, let me get out of here. I'm late. And the first thing that this guy says is, oh, you're late to an appointment? I don't even know where to begin on just what is wrong. Anyway, she's like, no, I'm late, like, as in, you know, my late, you know? And then he's like, you know, he has this shocked look on his face or whatever, and I'm just like, you know, you really honestly seemed like you was, you know, in the beginning you really saw like you was really smooth. Seemed like the character I was really gonna like, and you probably still are, but I was just like, wow, bro, really? Anyway, so that ends that scene, and so you got Gabby in the police station with Rafe, and Gabby's like, listen, I didn't do it, with Abigail or whatever, like, I didn't do it. It must have been somebody else, and she tries to point the finger at somebody. I don't remember who it was that she tried to point the finger at, but Rafe was like, no, it can't be, because he's under, you know, lock and key or whatever. There's surveillance and everything like that. And Rafe is like, listen, you know, I want to, you know, he's pretty much like, I want to believe you, but you gotta give me something to work with, because all the evidence is pointing to you, and the fact that you tried to syringe somebody else with some sort of drug, the same drug that Abigail, you know, took in, and she has to go to a clinic for, it's just piling on, you know? So that's pretty much, that pretty much that pretty much ends her scene, with Rafe. And before, the show ends, Ciara goes to, I guess, a restaurant or whatever with Hope and some woman named Julian or Jewel, her grandmother. And, you know, Ciara's like, well, can you officiate a marriage? And, you know, the grandmother's like, well, I don't know, because I don't really have a good track record, this, that, and the third. And Ciara's like, listen, do you just not approve of who I'm going to be marrying? And I think her name is Jewel or Julian. I'm just going to call her the grandmother. Ciara's grandmother. And the grandmother's just like, well, you know, he saved my life and everything like that, so I don't really have a problem with him. In the beginning I did, but, you know, he's cool with me. You know, and then she's just like, you know, I'll officiate your wedding. And, you know, they hug and everything like that. And that pretty much ends that. Honestly, tell you the truth, I gotta be honest, not a lot really happened today with this soap opera. I mean, I would honestly sit there and say, out of all the scenes, Abigail and Chad's was probably the most boringest one. Because all that really happened was Abigail was sitting there talking to her children about how she was ready to leave, you know, how she was leaving, but, you know, they did it in a way where it's like, they try to simplify it so that way it wouldn't scare them. And this is Thomas and Charlotte. Again, I gotta get used to the fact that I have to talk about two Charlottes now. One from GH and one from Days. And then she talks to her parents. You know, she talks to her dad. And, you know, her dad tells this, I guess, this heartfelt story about how, you know, Abigail isn't a quitter. And when she was younger, you know, she talks about, you know, he talks about this bike story and how she fell and hurt her knees, but she didn't cry. She got back up and she did it again. And he wanted to cry, but he didn't cry because, you know, he wanted to be strong for her. And I think the only thing that I can sit there and take that was actually kind of nice about the whole thing was that, you know, Jack was just like, I'm a person that cries or whatever. I'm sensitive and stuff. And I gotta sit there and say I did like that. At first, you know, when he came into the police station, he was laying it on Gabby and everything like that. I was like, bro, just calm down a little bit, you know. But then I kind of looked at it and I was like, you know, listen, I don't know if she's guilty or not, but I can see that, you know, he's a father that really, truly, deeply loves a daughter, and that he's not, you know, he's willing to admit his soft side. You know, he's willing to admit that, you know, he does cry for, you know, he's a crier, you know, he's sensitive, and I do kind of like that, you know, especially in today in society and stuff like that. Men, you know, there's a stereotype that men are considered weak when they show their emotions, when they cry and stuff like that, and I do like the fact that, you know, I just like that scene for some reason. I can't really describe it. Maybe it's just how I am personally. But yeah, other than that, it was just, you know, her talking to her dad and her talking to her mom and then leaving. And honestly, tell you the truth, they all did this group hug or whatever. And then, you know, Abigail's like, bye. And Chad's like, come on, we gotta go now. Like, now, go. I thought that was a little funny. At least in my head, I thought that was a little funny. But, yeah, that's pretty much the end of this, recap. I gotta be honest, here's the thing, I don't really know a lot about Ben, or if he's really Stefan, or not, Stefan DiMera, or not Stefan DiMera. I'm not really too sure. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little jarring because, again, go back to General Hospital, he was Johnny Sakara, so it's gonna take a little getting used to. But I gotta be honest, this soap opera is growing on me. I am starting to know names, and thank you for correcting. Hold on, let me pause it for a second. Yes, thank you for helping me because I kept mispronouncing her name. So yeah, her name is Kayla. It's gonna take me a bit to get used to, but I mean, once I get used to it, once I start watching it, it's just gonna pick up like no time. So, but thank you for writing in the comment section. I really do appreciate it, and correcting me. And again, if I'm wrong on anything, please correct me. And I will definitely look into getting that app on my phone so this way I can kind of get some history. I gotta be honest, and actually at this point the review is pretty much over. I gotta be honest. I'm trying to go into this with a fresh perspective, you know. And granted, and maybe if I would have did this with General Hospital, I would have probably felt the same way. The one thing I did like when General Hospital used to do was they used to show the characters' faces, and then they would show the name at the bottom. And that helped me so much understanding who these characters' names were and stuff, because the backstory will come in time, but at least if you know the names. I mean, hell, in this episode, they didn't say Chad's name one time. And the only reason why I actually got that is because I actually had to look at my notes from the first time that I watched Days of Our Lives to even remember his name. By the way, I'm not gonna lie. Not many people can rock the whole, hair slick back thing going on. So I gotta give Chad and the actor credit for being able to pull that off, because, again, that's just not something that I generally see. So that's cool. But yeah, it's just, put some names up there, or at least say their names a couple of times. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't think I would have remembered Ben and Jake's name if they didn't actually had it written on their t-shirts when they were in the garage. Other than that, this episode was so-so. But, also, by the way, if anybody can find out what's going on to Brock TV, because I know that he used to be doing these, these reviews, and, I get General Hospital stopped, so he stopped doing it like 5 days ago, but Days of Our Lives is still new, and I know that he does reviews on that. So if anybody can find out what's going on with him, I'll probably try to comment him and try to see if I can reach out to him. But if somebody knows any insights, please let me know. That is going to do it for this recap. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Sorry, I know it's been coming out so late, but also, again, I want to kind of do a good job. I don't want to just sit there and put out anything, and with work and everything like that. But I appreciate everyone that sticks around and watches. So be safe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next recap.